What's up you guys and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kristian Hansen. I'm currently on a solo journey for 3 years to travel all over Indonesia from Sabang to Merauke. And in this episode we're in West Borneo. Not too far from here is a village called the Sungai Utik, and there lives the indigenous Dayak Iban Tribe. So I'm planning to move in with them to learn as much as possible about their culture and their way of life. I don't know what to expect, but I know it's gonna be an adventure of a lifetime. Guys, I have had an incredible stay here in Lanjak at Lake Sentarum. Now it's time to continue the tour. We got 50 kilometers and 50 minutes to get to Sungai Utik, where we will meet the indigenous people, the Dayak Iban. So, Macam, let's rock and roll and let's go and learn about some culture, some traditions, and a different way of life. Let's get to it. I'm meeting with my contact there. Girl called Agustina. Wow, it's beautiful here. And she's apparently supposed to make the introduction for me, because this is not a place for like mass tourism, so it's kind of on a invite only base as far as I understand. Eco-wisata Sungai Utik. Here it is. Let's see if we can find the longhouse. Here we have it. Hi, Tina.
And after a quick briefing from my host Tina, the most incredible adventure of my life was about to begin. A few days before my arrival, one of the elders, Apai Antonios, had passed away. Apai means Mr. in the Dayak Iban language. And when someone passes away at Sungai Utik, they have their own grieving rituals. Once they have buried their elder, the grieving period was set, usually for 1 or 2 weeks, where no music is allowed, no cutting of hair or nails, and in general no happy or loud activities. This is to show respect for both the one passing and his or her family. I had gotten a special permission to walk around with my camera and to document, as long as I didn't film inside of their longhouse. So I tried to be as careful as I could, not to be in the way and not to interfere with their grieving. We were 2 days away from the ending of the grieving period, where they would perform a special ritual. So today all the women would walk together into the forest to collect vegetables for the final day of the grieving period, and I was invited to tag along. In 30 degrees and with 89% humidity, the forest is like one big supermarket for Sungai Utik. They first collected bamboo, as this serves as a form of pot for cooking the food over the fire.
Selukai, dibakar daun, kulitnya dibakar untuk ngusir nyamuk. Misalnya ada musibah seperti ini, orang meninggal, dibakar. Jika ada anak kecil, arangnya oles di dahi. Daun tubo. Daun tubo ya. Bawa nanti bro. Oh, contoh.
It is hot out here, guys. Luckily it's cloudy today, but the humidity is so high out here. and the ladies, they're just working non-stop. They're washing all the bamboo pieces, and now I've realized why they're all wearing long sleeve and long pants. I totally forgot about this, but there are an incredible amount of mosquitoes out here. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but they are all over. This is my first experience out with the locals here, and I'm really enjoying it. It's so beautiful here. Mana berita? Nama berita? Uh-oh, that looks deep. Uh-oh. Sungai Utik actually means crystal clear river, and they say I can drink the water. I've never tried drinking water straight from a river in Indonesia before, but I trust them when they say it's really clean, so let's try, eh? That's weird. It tastes like mineral water from a bottle. That's really nice. Wow, that experience nearly cost me my camera. Look, wet all the way up to here. I was holding the camera in straight arm like this to keep it from going in the water.
Dig it.
They're laughing at me because I fell in the water.
Daun ubi, itu sayur.
Makan ya? It looks almost like a big marijuana field. Like when you watch the movie The Beach, if you watch that, when they arrive on the island and they see this big field, they can collect up to 1 ton of food out here per day. 1 ton. That is a lot of food. Tonight I am confident I will regret that I did not wear long pants and long sleeve out here, because I must have gotten about 150 mosquito bites today. They're all over. Away, Mom. Ayo, sayang. This is like a full-on workout. There's just no stopping these women. They're just plowing through with their machetes. And I'm just trying to keep up. And we are back on the road. Nah. Sudah selesai ya?
Sudah.
Bagus. They asked if I'm tired, and I said no, but I'm tired.
As we came back, I thought now is probably time to rest, but no, they knew exactly what to do. They then started sorting all of the vegetables and cleaning them, and the other women who hadn't been to the field, they had been preparing treats and snacks for the big day.
Bu. Hey.
A lot of the women have tattoos, because tattoos are very special for the Dayak Iban. The bracelet tattoo is only worn by women, and as a sign that they are good at working with their hands, both in terms of crafts and in the household. But I'll get back to that later on. The kids then invited me on an afternoon tour, and they told me I just had to wear my bathing shorts. But I had a pretty good idea of where we were going.
Oh, ada? Ada?
Kuat bang.
Kuat bang.
Luar biasa.
Luar biasa. Saya keren. Hai Bella. Hati-hati ya. Okay. They want me to jump, so I better jump. Let's hope it's deep, yeah? Sini ya? Okay. Lihat.
But the party wasn't gonna stop there, because for my first evening I had been invited in to try their homemade alcohol, Tuak. And as I told them I rarely drank alcohol, they then told me, don't worry, it's only 0.5% alcohol. And 6 glasses later, they then revealed to me it was actually more like 20%. It had been an incredible first day at Sungai Utik.
Selamat pagi, guys. This morning I am out in the forest with all the guys. We are out collecting vegetables. So today is basically the preparation day, because tomorrow starts a very special ritual. Actually, this ritual has never been documented on YouTube on video before. So tomorrow starts the ritual of the passing, where they are basically letting go of the spirit of the person who passed. Pagi!
Pagi, bro!
On the last day before the ritual, it was only the men who went out. And today we were collecting what's called Upa Pantu, a unique and popular vegetable in the ethnic Iban cuisine. It requires hard work, peeling off layer by layer to get to the inside of the palm trunk, as we only needed the shoots inside of it.
Iban!
Begini ya.
Muka maju dehnya. Begini. Seperti tek.
Iya. Satu.
Nanti ya. But now I have to move Machan, because they've actually equipped Machan with some of the vegetables that we have to bring back. Hopefully I can balance it. Okay, guys. Thanks. Yeah. Berat ya? Whoa. But luckily I have the rock straps from Indonesian, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to carry them on Machan. Okay, pulang ya. Yuk.
Coming back from the field, I was once again ready to go and rest, but the others, they kept going. I could tell that they have done this hundreds of times before. Everybody knew exactly what their job were and what to do next. And everyone else at home were already in the process of cooking for the plus 300 people who would be attending the funeral ritual.
Alright guys, it is now 9:30. We're still preparing and we are having our first glass of Tuak, traditional alcohol. Enak ya?
Enak.
Nyamai.
Manis. Nyen aku ayah.
Minum. I don't think they usually drink alcohol this early in the morning, but it is the day for preparing for the ritual, so it's a very special day for them.
Siap untuk besok. Siap.
So guys, this afternoon, because everyone is still preparing for the ritual, I'm still not allowed to film inside of the houses. But basically what we have done today for lunch is that we have all sat together down inside of this house where we will be tomorrow for the ritual. So now we're just hanging out, we're having some more tuak and drinking. Yeah. Ngirup.
Air tuak satu can. Kalau dia itu airnya kuat gini, satu hari satu malam satu can. Dapatnya dari ujung. 100.000 satu can.
Minum air tuak di sini setiap hari?
Setiap hari. Dibilangkan hampir setiap hari lah minum air tuak. Banyak pohon di sini.
Oh, and this one is strong. Yeah, nyamai. Nyamai means enak, which means it's delicious. And nyirup means to drink. Yeah. I absolutely love the way that they spend time together. Everyone is sitting here together, everyone is cooking together, everyone is eating together. I enjoy so much just sitting here, even when the camera is turned off, and just being a part of it without even doing anything, just talking, sitting, observing, and enjoy. I really enjoy to see how much interest they take in me documenting all of this.
Ini beras pulut dari Kapuas Hulu. Ini untuk acara besok jam 9 pagi. Dibikin di dalam itu bambu itu buluh kami. Sudah disimpan, sudah diberi air, baru dimasak. Dimasak tuh dibikin bakar. Dia di atas api sudah kering, sudah. Untuk besok ini acara buang pantang.
So now guys, we have stuffed all of the bamboo. It is now being cooked and then it is ready for being eaten tomorrow for the ritual. It seems like everybody's happy and just excited about tomorrow. So yeah. Good morning guys, it is the day of the ritual to say goodbye to the elder they lost and to set his spirit free. So I'm heading over there now. I was standing on the balcony at 5 o'clock this morning and people were already heading over there that early. But now it's around 6:15, so I thought I'd better get over there because it starts at 8 o'clock. So I'll have to be a bit discreet with the camera today, not to seem like a distraction. So I'll try my best to document the day and show you guys what it's about. So let's get to it. It's gonna be another good day. It has been a long time since I've had my first glass of alcohol at 6:30 in the morning, but today I've decided everything they offer me, I will try it. In Dayak Iban tradition or culture, if someone offers you something like this and you are grateful that they offer you but you don't want it, then you just say terima kasih and then you just touch it like this and pull your hand back. It's a sign of respect. And when you do this, it is called nego. Nego. Jadi apa? Sekarang mau kemana?
Kita mau pergi kuburan untuk sembahyang untuk arwah Bapak Antonius.
So guys, the funeral is actually for the guy's here's father. He was only 59 years old and he had a stroke. Even people from villages outside are coming here as well.
I knew that this was a funeral ritual, but what I was not prepared for was the feeling that suddenly came over me as a cold chill as we reached their burial area. You could hear cries and mourning throughout the entire forest, because one of the ways they mourn is by telling a small story about the deceased life while they cry. It was heartbreaking. Even though I wanted to understand everything that was going on, I couldn't bear to ask a single question. I was completely silent and just trying to be invisible, not trying to be a distraction. They mourned. They prayed. And they poured a bit of tuak next to his grave. It was really sad, but also beautiful in its own way.
Semoga Allah yang Maha Kuasa mengasihani kita, mengampuni dosa kita dan mengantar kita ke hidup yang kekal.
mandi, pulang dari kubur. Harus mandi.
Bersih, biar tidak ada dosa lagi. Air bersih, kita tetap bersih.
So apparently the whole purpose of this is to wash away any bad luck, so we don't bring it back with us into the house. So now we washed it off, and now we can go change our clothes and join once more.
And it was then time to end the grieving period with the final ritual. The men were divided into one room and the women in another. In the middle of the room was a suitcase with some of Apai Antonius' belongings, a candle and a rifle, because they still believe the deceased spirit is still around, and this ritual was about setting it free. And here I met Tina's son Kunan Tegar, an 18-year-old filmmaker who was accompanied by Jimmy from UNICEF, who was making a piece about Kunan. But before releasing Pa Antonius' spirit, the chief of Sungai Utik would first walk around with the chicken over people's heads. He does this while praying, so that the chicken becomes a medium between the prayer and the people. Not long after this, the chicken is killed, and some of its feathers removed and dipped in its own blood. The prayers are then transferred from the feathers through the blood onto everyone who is attending the funeral. During the normal rituals, the bloody feathers will touch the hands, but during a funeral, it must be the feet. The women who are close relatives to the deceased wears a piece of black fabric on their clothes to show that they are still mourning. These are then cut off and put in a coconut shell. The men have a bit of hair cut off, which also goes into the shell. And this is then all thrown away as a sign of the end of the grieving period. And it was then time to extinguish the candle and fire the rifle in order to fully release his spirit. And so the feast could begin.
Lapar bro?
Makan.
Julie, makan!
And for the rest of the night, we would eat and drink together. And a younger subscriber of mine, Fidel, had remembered a quote from my first Kalimantan episode, because he knew exactly what time it was.
Fidel, what time is it?
It's Kalimantan time.
As the grieving period was over, I could then start making some clips inside of the 217-meter long longhouse. Also known as rumah panjang, it's an elevated, traditional communal house, and it's an essential part of the Dayak Iban life. It's divided into 28 compartments, also known as a bilik, with each family having their own private living space within. I was staying in bilik number 1, together with Jimmy from UNICEF, Julie, a school teacher, Tina, Tina's children, Fidel and Kunan, Tina's husband, Tomo, Tomo's sister, Duman, her husband and 2 children, Bella and Bagas, Tomo's brother and Tomo's aunt, as she had lost her husband and was then invited to come and live with the rest of the family. Because the family is a very big part of the Dayak Iban life. The main room, called Ruai, is mostly empty during the day, as everyone is out doing some sort of work or studying. The room is for everyone to use for activities, ceremonies, storytelling, music, and so on. In here you won't wear your shoes, and you should always greet the people you pass going through the longhouse. They will even sometimes invite you into their bilik for a chat. And if it's your first time to come to the longhouse, it's called Muai.
Chris.
Chris.
They will then serve you a glass of tuak that you will slowly pour out through the cracks of the floor as you pray for the longhouse and its people. A lot of my chats with the locals here, they always end up with a few glass of tuak, because they're always happy if you like the tuak. So drink slowly, because if you finish it fast, they will offer you more. Right? Some of the elders can no longer go out to work in the forest or the fields. So instead, they make mats, baskets, and other traditional woodwork they can sometimes sell to tourists and visitors. There are many dogs and cats here, because the Dayak Iban believe that the ancestors will sometimes test their kindness by showing up in the form of animals to see if they will feed them. But there's one key element that have made Sungai Utik in what it is today: the forest. The Dayak Iban have lived in this customary territory for hundreds of years, and they've created a life that is suited to the environment here and to the nature. The leader of the Sungai Utik community, Apai Janggut, meaning father with beard, showed me a map of the customary territory, 10,000 hectares of land divided into 4 categories. Green is protected forest, purple is a reserve forest, red is production, and yellow is agricultural use. But having a customary forest without legal documentation stating it was theirs, it was hard to send away the continuously approaching logging companies. So a young spirit from Sungai Utik, Kristian Tegar, joined the fight and started documenting the life of Sungai Utik. And this brought attention from around the world, and Sungai Utik eventually reached the international stage in 2019.
My name is Kinan. I'm from the Indigenous community of Sungai Utik.
And after a very long struggle, Sungai Utik eventually received their legal recognition in 2020, which according to Kristian is also a credit to their elders.
My name is Kristian Tegar. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a filmmaker from the Dayak Iban Tribe here in Sungai Utik. It was since the 1970s is when logging companies at first wanted to come to Sungai Utik, and when they came, they didn't come with nothing. They came bearing money by the truckloads, and they said that in exchange for all of this money, we'd like access to your forest. But the elders back then, they rejected them. They didn't want these people cutting down the forest, cutting down their source of life. There's one quote that I really remember from one of our elders. He was saying that if what the people here in Sungai Utik wanted was money, then they'd have just cut down all of the trees and sell it. But when the trees are gone, then so will the money, and then we'd have nothing left.
In the afternoon, Tomo, Kristian's father, invited us on a small trip to show us how the forest can be used for different purposes.
Kita buat area itu selain nantinya untuk ekoturism, juga itu adalah untuk edukasi. Misalnya di situ kan ada nama-nama pohon ya, anak-anak yang kayak tadi itu mereka bisa belajar, oh ini pohon ini, oh ini pohon ini, begitu ya. Jadi harapannya ke depan anak-anak ini dia bisa belajar sendiri dengan adanya ini. Paling tidak dia belajar mengenal pohon, belajar oh pohon ini buah bisa dimakan dan ini yang tidak bisa dimakan apa segala macam. Termasuk juga harapan kita itu tanaman obat juga ada di situ. Oh ini tanaman bisa untuk obat, oh ini begini gitu. Jadi memang paling tidak ada dua fungsi yang Tembawang tadi itu, fungsi ekotourism dan juga untuk edukasi, untuk belajar.
The rice fields at Sungai Utik are different than those in Java, as they are not always underwater, and as a part of their culture, they have a very special rule for their farming.
Sebetulnya orang Iban itu tidak boleh menjual padi, tidak boleh menjual beras sebetulnya, dan ini hanya untuk mereka untuk kehidupan mereka sehari-hari. Beras ini mereka tidak beli begitu.
Hanya untuk makan di Sungai Utik.
Betul.
Sometimes in the village, you know, you'll play with whatever is available, even charcoal. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Thank so much.
Jomblo.
Good morning, guys. So this morning we are heading up the river. We're heading a bit deeper into the forest because they have a small cabin up there that we will stay in, and yeah, get a little bit closer to the nature.
So the indigenous people here, they practice a agriculture technique called shifting cultivation. So they move from one field to another after a few years, and then they move to another. And in the process, for clearing it, they burn the land and make it become more fertile. That's why a lot of it is burnt.
Many countries might consider this system as a less efficient way of farming, but because Sungai Utik they have so much land, they can follow the way of their ancestors without using any fertilizers, and then wait 10 to 15 years until the nutrients in the soil is replenished naturally, and then starting using the fields once again.
So now we are at the Sungai Utik customary forest, and this is the packets, the tourism that built by the community. So this is how we use our forest. So we're not just keep it, but we try to maximize the potential. And this is the experience. So a whole packet is managed by community. We use the fruit from our land, and then we will go to upstream. There's a cabin that people can stay for a couple nights with a basic facility, but it's really amazing place that you can visit. I'm not good.
Umas.
Umas kena makan.
We're making a small lunch break here, lunch stop. I'm trying for the first time one of the homemade products here from Sungai Utik. This is what normally, bro?
It's called the mawang syrup. It's made from one of the trees here, and usually even in this village there's like tons and tons of the fruit. So they finally try to make use of it and in the form of this syrup.
And it tastes amazing. Sweet and sour at the same time.
And as we were about to head upstream, I noticed a water line, and this is one Sungai Utik have made themselves, which supplies them with unlimited free and clean water, running all the way from their protected forest area to their village.
ngangau kita gerwaya kukian semua datai ke bilik aku kian semua gerwaya aku ke penanya aku ngangau nesau kita di rumah nanti ngintum baru aku semua aina kian lah kian kita rumah wait oke friend you dek kaban ya kukian semua gerwaya kukian aku minta selamat minta sembahyang ke dek semua alhamdulillah Melayu oke.
Terima kasih.
That evening, they were doing 2 rituals. As a member of the community, Apai Ube were going on a journey. The first ritual, called Keduran Pansut, is about asking blessings and protection from the ancestors for someone who is about to embark on a journey. The second ritual is called Bedara Jari. It means blessing of the hands. It is a cleansing ritual where the hands are first tied together with red yarn, and then offerings are put in the hands in the form of 7 different items like a coin, a betel nut, a leaf, a cigarette, and then food, from where you will eventually eat the offerings. Members of Sungai Utik will do this at, for example, birthdays, New Year's, end of the harvest season, or when going away for some time, to receive blessings from the ancestors and to be thankful for the blessings received thus far. They believe that the hands are special. This is how they can work, get blessings, get food, money, and so on. And once again, the chicken was used as a medium for the blessings and to remove any bad omens. The chicken was killed and its blood brought around to everyone along with its blessings. Apai Ube could then finalize his cleansing ritual, and the offering for the ancestors were then put outside of the longhouse on the roof. Because this way, the ancestors will know that it's an offering, and they will then give the blessings inside of the house. The rest of the food is then shared by everyone. And there was one thing that caught me by surprise. Seeing all of the kids were cleaning up, pouring new drinks, and handing them out. There were no complaining about having to clean up. They just went ahead and did it, like they had done it 1,000 times before. The respect of your parents and the elders is another core principle for the Dayak Iban at Sungai Utik. It was just heartwarming to see. One big family.
Good morning, guys. It's another beautiful day here at Sungai Utik, and this morning I wanted to visit the schools here. They both have a primary school, SD, they have a junior high school, SMP, and they have a kindergarten. Because I imagine that some people watching this video might be curious as to how the school system works here. So let's try and join some of the classes and see how it is to go to school in a local community here at Sungai Utik. Let's do it. Ayo, selamat pagi.
Pagi. All students wear a uniform every day, and the junior high school students start the day with a small flag ceremony before greeting their teacher. And then it's off to their English class, where they are currently learning about the numbers, months, and the days. The day starts early for even the young students in the primary school. They are already at the school at 7 o'clock. As the teachers doesn't arrive until 8 o'clock, they spend the time productively by preparing for today's classes and by tidying up the classroom, which runs like clockwork according to their designated schedule.
Pertama kami bangun dan terus mandi dan terus makan berangkat sekolah jam 7, terus belajar datang guru. Kami tentang belajar itu matematika dan tema. Saya suka juga sih. Sekolah itu enak dan dapat pelajaran yang sangat bagus dan juga memintarkan kita.
You can see that kids at Sungai Utik, they're really excited to go to school. They come early at the morning and start prepare all the equipment. But now we have problem because we have not enough teacher. So sometimes the teacher just give the text and then move to another class and just give a text and move to another class again. So it's be a big challenge for now. And yeah, we really need to thinking harder how to solve this problem because it's not just problem for Sungai Utik, but for many other villages.
Luckily, Sungai Utik will sometimes have university students come here as well, who is studying to be a teacher.
Selamat pagi.
Nama saya Yuliana Kristina. Umur saya 21 tahun. Saya mahasiswa dari Pontianak. Itu tentang, saya jurusan guru, memang guru agama Katolik. Saya ditempatkan di Sungai Utik untuk melaksanakan praktik saya. Saya di sini baru 3 hari mengajar mereka, dan dalam 3 hari ini saya merasakan senang sekali bisa bertemu dengan anak-anak yang begitu ceria dan semangat untuk belajar. Rasanya senang bisa membantu mereka untuk belajar. Seperti di kelas 1, saya membantu mereka untuk berhitung, menulis, dan lain-lain. Jadi antara di kota sama di kampung itu memang ada sedikit perbedaan, tetapi perbedaan itu bisa kita rubah dengan memberikan yang terbaik kepada mereka.
The children had asked me again and again if I could help teach them some English. But as per Indonesian law, you need a specific visa for this. So instead, I asked them if it was okay that I tested their English skills, and they happily accepted.
11, 12, 13,
14,
13, 13.
For now, many visitors they come. They give time so they can visit the school. Sometimes they teach about English, teach about personality. Sometimes because it's important to talking together with the kids about what they want to be, what they want to learn, and what they want to do with their life in the future.
Polisi.
Dokter, polisi, tentara, guru matematika, polisi.
Wah, satu lagi, granara.
Guru bahasa Indonesia, pramugari, guru IPS, guru agama, pastor pak, sepak bola. Yeah.
And after school, it's nongkrong time. The kids, they get together and chat, eat snacks, play a bit on their handphones, basically anything you can do outside in the fresh air.
So here in the afternoons, we come down to the school because right behind us we have the big antenna, and right there as well for getting the signal. So they do have Wi-Fi here, but it is only turned on from around 4:30 in the afternoon until 5 o'clock in the morning. So here in the afternoons we tend to go down here to
Waktu ada sinyal, laki ngapain di sini? Nonton apa?
Nonton TikTok. Nonton TikTok.
So the signal is not fantastic, but it's better than nothing. And it's actually nice not to have access to signal all the time, because we tend to just check our phones, you know, and we always have signal, so kind of nice.
Apa namanya itu?
Ini? Bunga terong.
Simbol untuk Dayak Iban ya?
Ya. Ada foto di sini tuh, berarti dia orang Iban. Kris. Ini rumah panjang.
Rumah panjang.
Ini tadi burung rangkong. Jalai betungkat ke adat, tinggal Upa Ngalu Temuai Datai, bakal gaul telingang bakal danau.
The kids they love when foreigners visit Sungai Utik and share some of their experiences from other countries and different professions. So that night, I told them a bit about my journey and about chasing dreams.
Ayo lihat sedikit klip dari YouTube channel saya ya. Ayo ikut. Today guys, I'm gonna show you Kilometer Zero here in Sabang, and we can officially start Sabang Merauke. Let's do it.
Ya, buang.
Rain or sun, the day still starts early for Apai Salem, the local Tuak connoisseur. He comes out here every morning to supply the entire village with delicious drinks.
Pohon apa namanya pohon ini?
Pohon kalau di sini ijuk, kalau bahasa Indonesianya aren. Siapa tahu ada teman yang mau ikut naik, enak dia duduk.
Minum dari sini.
Iya, minum di sini. Saya kalau pagi saya iris. Jadi sore iris baru ambil air pulang ke rumah, bawa pulang ke rumah. Di sana baru kita sama-sama minum di rumah. Dengan ibu-ibu, bapak-bapak minum di sana. Kalau punya saya ini kurang lebih dari 7 sampai 8 liter setiap hari. Karena tangkai bunga ini tidak besar.
Enak?
Enak. Master mau coba?
Nah.
Now I will try the tuak directly as it drips from the tree. Wow. Wow, it's so good.
Enak sekali.
Iya. Masih mau?
Cukup. Karena
Oke.
hujan terus harus turun.
Iya.
Terima kasih.
Sama-sama.
In the afternoon, the entire longhouse were preparing for a special welcoming ritual, because a longtime friend of Sungai Utik, Ratsi Ibrahim, a psychologist from Jakarta, and her team were coming to visit once again. They then enter through the official entrance to the longhouse, where they are blessed and cleansed by Apai Imam. A prayer is made for the longhouse with Tuak. An offering is made to the ancestors, asking permission to enter, and a traditional idad is presented as a welcoming gift. Some of the best dancers of Sungai Utik then escort the special guests all the way into the longhouse by dance. This ritual is another way of supporting Sungai Utik, as the ritual and all the food prepared is covered by the guests who's visiting. The food is prepared for all of the community's members and the guests, and everyone celebrates it together. And as it was my last afternoon at Sungai Utik, we of course had to swim in the river once again, and the girls even surprised me with a special song.
Selamat tinggal, Kristian Hansen yang telah menghibur untuk selamanya. Namun cinta telah lama di sini. Mohon jangan lupakan kami. Selamat tinggal, Kristian Hansen. Kita berpisah untuk selamanya.
And just like all the other nights, we all sat on the floor together in Bilig 1 and enjoy a home-cooked dinner with greens from the forest and fish from the river as one big family. My last night at Sungai Utik couldn't have ended any better, or so I thought, because the kids, they had one more ace up their sleeve that blew me away.
Bagus bro, bagus. Mama Bella.
Kami anak-anak Sungai Utik, dibesarkan dari hutan rimba. Kami suka menari, kami suka bernyanyi, kami mencari ikan. Hoi, sungguh gembira. Karena leluhur, jangan pernah kita gadai demi untung sementara. Karena leluhur, sungai ini, rimba ini, hidup kita selamanya. Woi,
Siapa kita?
Sungai Utik,
Sungai Utik.
pada zaman.
Guys, saya mau tidur ya. Selamat malam. See you tomorrow. Dadah, bestie.
It was time to say goodbye to Sungai Utik. I'd been so lucky to spend the entire week with Jimmy from UNICEF and Kunan. They had to leave first, as Kunan were going to South America to represent Sungai Utik at an Indigenous tribe event. But there was one more thing that I wanted to do before I continued my Sabang to Merauke adventure. Indigenous tribe tattoos were frowned upon for many years and not recognized as a culture or traditions. But luckily that's different today. The Dayak Iban are extremely proud of their tattoos, and it's a way for them to remember their traditions and story as their ancestors did before them. For me, it was a way of showing my appreciation and bringing a souvenir with me that I will never forget.
So I'm thinking some of you guys might wonder how much this hurts. And I would say it actually hurts less than it did in Mentawai, because the needle here is smaller, and it will take about 2 hours in total to complete. So right now we're almost halfway, and the tattoo that I'm making today is called Terong. It's believed that when the Dayaks, the Dayak Iban, was first created here on earth, it was the very first thing they ate. So that is also why it is the first tattoo that any Dayak Iban gets, because it is kind of a symbol of the very beginning of the Dayak Iban. And normally when you get the Terong tattoo, you get 2, but I've decided together with them that I will be making just one. So next time I come back here, then I will get the second one. So.
Alright guys, it has been a fantastic stay here at Sungai Utik, and it's not an easy day for me to leave. I don't really feel like leaving, but at the same time I have to continue the journey. So yeah, this is the pro and con about life on the road, is that you meet a lot of fantastic people, but sometimes you have to say goodbye to them, at least until next time. And of course I couldn't make this video clip without my camera assistant number one, Bagas. Terima kasih, bro. Sukses selalu ya.